Hi, in this tutorial we're going to create a very simple information request form for a theatre from scratch. Here we are, we're in the ChronoForms Forms Manager. There are two new buttons up here. There's New and New Simple. I almost always use this one. Today we're going to use the simple version just to show you what's here. There are a lot of similarities, but one place is different. So we click New Simple. We have a new form. We need to give it a name. A form must have a name. The name should not have any spaces or special characters. Underscores allowed, but nothing else. So we're going to call this form Send Info. Now on this page there's a number of other things that you can set. You can add a description if you want to. If you've got a lot of forms, this can be helpful in telling you which one is which. You can publish or unpublish the form. You can also do that from the Forms Manager, and you can change the setup mode. That's the new and new simple setting that we just saw in the Forms Manager. Today we're going to ignore all of those. Up here we have a series of tabs. We're going to look at two of them. We're going to look at the Designer, which is where you create the form inputs, the HTML that is what the user sees, and the Setup tab, which is where all the action takes place, if you like. It's where the data is loaded or saved, emails are sent, all the other things that are done with the form data. Okay, so we start with the Designer tab. We have a list of elements. These are all fairly standard form elements. What we want here, we're going to ask for the user's name, we're going to ask for their email, and we're going to put a submit button. And for good measure, we'll add a radio button which says what kind of event they want to do. I've done these out of order, but we can drag this up so the order changes. So we're going to go in here, take each of these and very quickly edit it. We're going to give it a name. We want the person's name in here. I always set the ID to be the same as the name by copying and pasting. We want a label in here. This is the bit that's visible on the form. We'll leave the label position as it is, and everything else on here can stay the same. We want this required, so we're going to go to the Validation tab. We're going to set required on here. Save and close. That's the name. Now we're going to do exactly the same with the email. We want the user's email. Copy and paste. Set this to email. In the Validation tab we're going to make it required, and we're going to require that it's an email in format as well. Down here we've got a radio label. We're going to set up a set of radio buttons, and this is the event type. We'll just put type in here that the customer is interested in. I created a list of types before, which I'm just going to copy and paste in here. I recommend, by the way, although the default here says 0 and 1, using 0 is not usually a good idea, so I've used text strings here. So we've got plays, concerts, operas, recitals, ballets. It's a list of options. The bit before the equals sign is the name that will be given to it in the form data. The bit on the right hand side of the equals sign is what will display in the form. Here they're very similar, they don't have to be. We want to do a couple more things down here. We want to do a label. We'll call that type of event. That's all we need here. We'll save and close that. We want a little bit of text in the beginning. It's a bit blunt perhaps to have this, so we'll come down to the advanced group here. We'll drag in a custom element. We'll move it up to the top of the form. We'll take out the label, so we don't need a label here. We'll just put a bit of HTML in. H3. Upcoming events. Just so they're clear what they're doing. Save and close that. That's all. We're going to save the form. Always takes a second or two. You can see the spinning wheel up here says that something is happening, and then the screen goes dark for a minute, we get the loading, and we're successfully saved. Now we can click the test form button here, opens a new tab with a form in it, and here you go, we've got a thing that says here's my name, here's my email, tell me the type of event I'm interested in, and submit button. That's fine. We could perhaps have made this required as well, but I haven't done so in this case. Right, so that shows the form, but now it doesn't do anything. So we'll go into the back here, we'll go to the Setup tab, and here we've got another row of tabs. We want to set two of them. We're going to send a thank you message. There's an action label, which is just for our help in the back end in knowing what this action is. We're going to send dear. Now in here we can put name, and that will include whatever value was put by the user in the form. Thank you for, oh, I can't spell. And we can put in type. That's it. We should just put some tags around this perhaps to make it look prettier. So that's a thank you page. And we want to send an email to the form admin. We've got two emails here. Usually one of those is for the admin and one is for the user. So we'll call this email to admin. We're going to enable it. We're going to put a to address in. We'll make that info at, we'll make that admin at, just so it looks different. And down here you'll see that ChronoForms has created an email for us. We don't need the custom one in there. We've got name, email, type in a little table. That's absolutely fine, and you can freely go ahead and edit that as much as you like. That's all we need in here, so we can leave that one. In the here we'll do an email to user. This is to the person who's just signed up. Enable it, yes. We're going to leave the two here empty for a minute. We're going to your to our site from name admin at oops. And again, we've got an email in here. You can tidy this up to show more information. For the moment, we'll just take that custom line out because it does nothing. And now we'll tidy this up. We'll put dear name. The name of the input in curly brackets will be replaced by the value. Okay, and again we could wrap this up in some HTML to make it look prettier, but that's it. So we've got an email here. We need to go back here, and in the advanced tab we've got a dynamic to, and we're going to put email in there, and that will use the value of the email the user submitted in the form as the to address for this email. That's all done. We're going to make one more change here. Just go to the debug tab. We'll turn debugging on. This is just so that we can see the results for testing. When you go live with the form, turn this back off again. Save. Go back to the form. We'll refresh it. Although I don't think we actually made any changes to this part. We'll put in tester. Oh, can't spell that. We'll put in my email. We'll tick concerts and we'll submit. What we see here is, dear tester, thank you for information about upcoming concerts. We'll be in touch. And you can hear the ba-ding in the background. That's the emails arriving. They're both coming to me in this case. Down here you can see the data that's been submitted. This is the debugger output. And we scroll down here, we'll see there's an email sent to the admin, and there's an email here where the to address is picked up from the information we set in the form. Dear tester, thank you for asking information about upcoming contacts, the site management. And because we left it in default, ChronoForms has added the IP address. That can sometimes be useful. That's it. You have a working event subscription form.